The great hymn of ATEN will begin. Thou appearest beautifully on the horizon of heaven, thou living ATEN, the beginning of life. When thou art risen on the eastern horizon, thou hast filled every land with thy beauty. Thou art gracious, great, glistening, high over every land. Thy rays encompass the lands to the limit of all that has made. As thou art ray, thou reachest to the end of them. Thou subduest them for thy beloved Son. Though thou art far away, thy rays are on earth. Though thou art in their faces, no one knows thy going. When thou settest in the western horizon, the land is in darkness, in the manner of death. They sleep in a room with heads wrapped up, nor sees one eye the other. All their goods which are under their heads might be stolen, but they would not perceive it. Every lion has come forth from the den, every creeping thing stings. Darkness is enshrouded, and the earth is in stillness, for he who made them rests in the horizon. At daybreak, when thou arisest on the horizon, when thou shinest as the atom by day, thou drivest away the darkness and give thy rays. The two lands are in festivity every day, awake, standing upon their feet, for thou hast raised them up. Washing their bodies, taking their clothing, their arms are raised high, praise to thy appearance. All the world they do their work. All beasts are content with their pastures, trees, plants are flourishing. The birds which fly from their nests, their wings are stretched out in the praise to thy Ka. All beasts spring upon their feet. Whatever flies in the lights, they live when thou hast risen for them. The ships are sailing north and south as well, for every way is open at thy appearance. The fish in the river dart before thy face. Thy rays are in the midst of the great green sea. Creator of seed and women, thou hast made it fluid into man, who maintainest the son in the womb of his mother, who soothes him with that which stills his weeping. Thou nurse even in the womb, who gives breath to sustain all that he has made. When he descends from the womb to breathe, on the day when he is born, thou open his mouth completely, thou suppliest his necessities. When the chick in the egg speaks within the shell, thou givest him breath within to maintain him. When thou hast made him his fulfillment within the egg, to break it, he comes forth from the egg to speak at his completed time. He walks upon his legs when he comes forth from it. How manifold it is thou hast made. They are hidden from the face of man, O soul God, like whom there's no other. Thou didst create the world according to thy desires. Wouldst thou were alone, all men, cattle, wild beasts, whatever is on earth going upon its feet, and what is on high flying with its wings. The countries of Syria, Nubia, the land of Egypt, thou settest every man in his place. Thou suppliest their necessities. Everyone has his food, and his time of life is reckoned. Their tongues are separate in speech, and their natures as well. Their skins are distinguished, as thou distinguishest the foreign peoples. Thou makest a Nile in the underworld. Thou bringest forth as desires to maintain the people of Egypt, according to thou madest them. The Lord of all them wearing himself with them, the Lord of every land rising for them, the atom of the day in great majesty. All the distant foreign countries thou madest their life also, for thou hast set a Nile in heaven. It is sent for them, and make waves upon the mountains like the great green sea, to water their fields in their towns. How effective they are, the plans, O Lord of eternity. Lord of eternity. The Nile in heaven is for the foreign people, and for the beast of every desert that goes upon their feet, while the true Nile comes from the underworld for Egypt. Thy rays suckle every meadow. When thou risest, they live, they grow for thee. Thou makest the seasons in order to rear all that has made, the winters to cool them, and the heat that they may taste thee. Thou hast made the distant lands in order to rise therein, in order to see all that hast made. Wouldst thou were alone, rising in the form of the living Aten, appearing, shining, withdrawn, and approaching. Thou made millions of forms of thyself alone. cities, fields, roads, and rivers. Every eye beholds thee over against them, for thou art the atom of the day over the earth. There you are in my heart, and there's no one that knows you. To your son Akhenaten and Polly, the world came into your being by thy hand, according to thou hast made them. When thou hast risen, they live. When thou saidst, they die. Thou art lifetimes thy own self, for one lives through thee. Eyes are fixed on beauty until you saidst. All work is laid aside when thou saidst in the west. And thou hast risen again, everything is made to flourish for the king. That didst found the earth, and raised them for thy son who came forth from your body, the king of Upper and Lower Egypt, Akhenaten, and his beloved chief wife, Queen Nefertiti, living in beauty and youthful forever and ever. That's the hymn of Aten.